Hi, Pat.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
How are things going at the museum?
Oh, we've been busy. We've been busy. We've got that new art exhibit and it's summertime and anyway, it's been
What
busy.
what is the art exhibit featuring?
It's a church history. The annual. Every 3 years they have a
Competition?
competition. That's what it is, and it's from all over the world. And there's some really beautiful things there.
Is there still the room set aside for the artifacts from Community of Christ?
No, they're gone.
Okay.
I don't know where they put those. But anyway, we don't have them anymore. Are you still working at the
Yep, 29 more days.
29? And then what are you going to do?
I'm so busy with the John Whitmer Historical Association and my history projects. I'm looking forward to having some time to do all the things I'm already working on. Hi, Cynthia.
Hi, I'm sorry. I'm in my exercise clothes. I just wanted to hurry and join.
I'm glad you did.
I'm eating my lunch, if that's okay.
Absolutely. Sorry, Eric, I wanted to hear that last little bit, if you don't mind just repeating.
Oh, Pat asked what I was going to do after I retire at the end of the month, and I was just saying I'm very active with the John Whitmer Historical Association. I serve on their board of directors, and I'm co-chair of our annual conference this year and in Independence in September. So I'm very, very busy.
That's so awesome. Well, I just see the cool pictures you take all over. It seems like you're not going to be a stranger to going out and having fun.
No, I'll always find a way to have some fun. Hi, Marco.
I'm so happy for you.
Hi, Marco, Bjorn.
Hello.
You know, this is in a funny thing. I have a big picture of Marco, and the rest of you are just in little pictures across the top of him.
That's probably a blessing, Pat.
Let's see.
If you go to
now I'm back to now I have a big picture of Bjorn.
It's whoever's talking, I think.
And now Cynthia, I don't know what in the heck is going on.
If you go to the upper right corner, it says View.
Yeah.
And you probably have Speaker selected, Sister Day.
Let's see. I do, Speaker View.
And if you choose Gallery, then it will be all the little pictures.
If I choose Gallery.
Alan Bott, what the heck?
Thank you. That did it.
Hey, Merlin.
Hi. Greetings from Mesquite.
And Merlin,
wow. It must be hot there.
Is it hot enough, Merlin, where you are?
Actually, it's a little bit overcast today for the first time in months. So,
Ray.
Well, it is kind of here too in Salt Lake, at least where I am.
we won't quite get to 100.
Alan, are you in the United States or are you traveling?
Yeah, I'm here in the States. Otherwise, there's a very good chance I would not be on this call.
I'm so glad you were able to make it.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Are you still working for the church, Alan?
Yes, I am.
Remind me what you do.
So I'm in finance. I'm in controllership.
Oh, okay.
He is
all the fun stuff.
Controller. People bow and genuflect when he walks by.
Yeah.
I don't. I hug him, but.
So you can tell us how much we have in the accounts and stuff?
Yeah, no comment.
But you take good care of all of our money. Is that right?
Well, you know, the team definitely is committed to safeguarding assets and protecting the widow's mite. No question about it.
And you can never get anything out of him on that stuff. I've tried. Notice the response. That's exactly what I get.
Just a smile.
I know my husband always used to say the church spends its money very carefully.
Yeah, they do.
Just out of curiosity, are you sitting in a place, I mean, not right now, but in general, where you'd be able to enter a particular member's details and see what they had contributed? Is that, or does it not go to that detail where you are?
I'll just be quiet.
But we have so many questions, Alan.
You can
Hopefully
tell
you've
us.
never tried to do that.
Yeah, listen to Merlin.
Yeah, we won't tell anybody.
Cynthia, where do you work out?
Oh, it's been so fun. My calling right now is assistant stake athletic director. So, really, what it is athletic director for the old ladies in our stake, and we get together every Wednesday morning and play pickleball in our stake center. We have a riot.
Pickleball is sure the thing to do, isn't it?
It's so fun. Yeah, so working out is I'm using that loosely, but for me, yeah, that's my only activity I've had in a few weeks. So
Some
it was fun.
pickleball. Huh?
We played for 3 hours today.
Oh my God.
I think I actually did get a little exercise.
I have a colleague and we will share step counts through an app. And
Oh my.
he always beats me. And I'm like, Tim, how did you get, his name's Tim Gurr. I said, Tim, how did you get 30,000 steps? He goes, oh, I played racquetball that day.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Like, I can't keep up.
Well, I'm happy my phone goes off that I've met my goal for the day after I've been playing for 30 minutes, whether I'm moving or not. Whole different league.
How many are in the group, Cynthia?
Well, it's really been so fun. We often will have, like this morning, we had 9 at our 7 o'clock group, and then we had about 6 at our 8:30 group. So, and I'm afraid I just decided I had to run to the store before I changed. So I haven't really just gotten out of a sweat, but anyway, yeah, that's about it. But it's fun, it's interesting because it is a really fun, non-scary way to introduce people who are in the neighborhood too, or like one of my former work partners comes and she's not a member, and we have so much fun together and just such wonderful women. I'm afraid I really am biased toward women. It's wonderful.
It's not like church men's basketball, huh?
No, not at all.
A little more competitive.
Yeah.
Therefore, the women part.
So,
Casey just joined us. Hello, Casey.
Hey, hi everyone. It's been a while.
Hi, yeah.
Hmm.
So what's the significance, Casey, of your Coca-Cola flags?
Yeah, they're not very straight, but no, I'm trying to put something on my back wall so when I have meetings, I work for Coca-Cola. When I have meetings, I had nothing on my back wall. So we had a big get together in Atlanta, and I brought home these flags and said, "Oh, well, at least I can put those up there." So yeah, no, I work remote all the time, so I'm always on calls, and you always see this background that you see right here.
Do
and
you
where?
still work Do you still work for Coca-Cola?
I still do. My entire team is in Atlanta. I'm the only one that works remote.
What do you do for them?
So I'm on the supply chain finance team for commodities, commodity costing and forecasting. Uh, I'm I'm mostly in the juice space. I was in the sweetener space until last month. So now I'm picking up some secondary packaging as well, but just a lot of the supply chain cost is what we deal with.
And where are you at? Where do you?
So I'm located in Utah.
Okay, that's right.
Coca-Cola, when I joined the team, the entire team was in Texas in the Houston area. And then over time, that's kind of transitioned back to the headquarters in Atlanta. and then they shut down our office. And when they shut down our office, we decided, we prayed and fasted. We decided, what, as nice as Houston is, as nice as our ward and stake were, we just like having mountains and not so much heat and humidity. So we just made a move on our own.
Oh, good.
Well, I've got a couple of daughters that are keeping your business going, so.
Really, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I just went to the garden restaurant at the Joseph Smith Memorial Building, just reopened on Monday. I put a picture in the chat. It looks like you guys are supplying them.
To see that. Oh yeah, that's good.
Including all the glass bottles along the top there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that comes from Mexico. The glass, that's coat from Mexico. And then as you see Minute Maid, that's like a lemonade, but we have Minute Maid juices and Simply juices. That's also the Coca-Cola family. And Dasani water, that's the Coca-Cola family.
Oh, wow.
Boy,
Yeah, Powerade, uh, Glasso, Fairlife, if you guys like Fairlife milk.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, my kids always drink that.
That is amazing. Wow.
Mhm. Yeah, Coca-Cola is pretty diversified on the drink side.
My daughter told me a funny story, I thought. So apparently there's no Coke in the church office building.
There's no caffeinated Coke in the church office building,
Okay.
except
But
in
but
offices.
but apparently there is in the church history department where she works. So there are people coming over from the church office building to raid their supplies.
It's hilarious.
Hmm.
What town are you in, Casey?
Santaquin.
Oh, you're down south.
Yep.
I remember seeing on Facebook that Steve Gibson was running for mayor in Weber County somewhere. I was thinking you were up in Weber County.
So that's true. So he's running for mayor in Pleasant View, and that's where I grew up.
Okay.
He grew up in Ogden. He went to Ogden High, so he just, I guess, somewhere along the way he moved up north to North Ogden, Pleasant View, and we moved way far south. Yeah, it's a good place to live. I like Pleasant View, but when we moved back from Texas, we said, you know what, let's try a new area because we were already familiar with the Ogden area. So we said, let's try Utah County, especially since our kids are down this way, and so we really like it.
It's growing even down there though, isn't it?
It is. We're now up to 18,000 something, like 18,400 residents in Santaquin. So it's starting to rival Payson.
It's all going to connect down to Nephi and
Yeah. Well, if we can get enough water, I mean that's always going to be the issue is can we build enough houses with all the water shortage?
yeah.
Well, I was going to tell you a little bit about my missionary in Hamburg. So he's in Bremen, and I don't know if you all saw that they made a new mission in Germany and Switzerland and Austria, but it's for Turkish and Persian speaking missionaries.
Oh, my goodness.
And the mission president's from Switzerland, and well, I guess he still is the district president in Turkey. But most of they had some Turkish speaking missionaries in Frankfurt that would do online social media, and they would fly every once in a while to Turkey to do baptisms or meet in person. But they'd fly out and then they'd have to be back by, the same day. So
Why?
they have, pardon me?
Why would they have to be back so fast?
Well, just because I guess they're not supposed to be there, or they could go in and out but not stay. So that was interesting, and he's actually teaching a student from Turkey, except he just went back to Turkey. But there wasn't any Turkish missionaries. He's in Bremen right now, and anyway, so that's been exciting for him. he teaches a lot of, well, like when we were there, it was mostly the Iron Curtain countries, but he has so many, and don't have a list. I've tried to tell him to make a list of everybody that he's, from the different countries. But it's funny, he's actually teaching in German now. And at church, well, and a lot of the Africans, like we were teaching, Syria, and he said of course, they're not so, the ward members aren't so friendly to some of them, but he was happy when the German, he's a young guy, when he came to church, he was befriended rather quickly. So,
Do you know the name of the new mission?
Turkish, Persian speaking, Central Europe or something Europe, Persian and Turkish speaking.
Is this your son, Merlin?
Yeah, so he's in the Hamburg mission.
Oh. But
But he's just regular German speaking. So
but he's working with Turkish. and
yeah,
he's-
one of his, well, he's had an Iranian, a Persian lady that they taught, and then they've had a Turkish one, but among various other nationalities that they've had. So
Are these people that have moved to Germany?
yeah, some of them are students, some of them are refugees. Some of them are just working.
What did they do about the language? Do they speak German?
Well, some of them speak English. He was in Münster, and his first Sunday there, they had there's only 15 of them, and the meeting was in English because most of the friends spoke English more than German, and most of the branch members spoke English. He had, where was it? Somebody from Morocco he was teaching, who brought an interpreter, and I believe they were speaking English. Then the interpreter had more questions than the guy they were actually teaching. So,
Oh, really?
very, very interesting. And they don't do as many doors as we do, which very irks me. He's done very little door knocking his whole mission, but
You can go pick him up and take him out.
yeah, I'm gonna say, hey, this is how we did it all day.
This is how it's done, son.
Yeah. Well, but he'll have now. Bremen is, and maybe Marco can tell us, is one of the biggest wards. But he'll have like 3 or 4 friends, and there's 2 sets of missionaries. They'll have 3 or 4 friends there every week.
That's great.
Yeah, but which also is like, if we would get one every how many, we'd be happy. But so, and he said that was it Elder Cook at the mission president's seminar said that baptisms were up over 20% across the board, across the world. And he said he was boasting that their mission is like up 30%. It's like, well, yeah, for as few as they get, 30% isn't too bad, but it's going good for him. So,
Well, that's good. That's very interesting.
Yep.
Is Bremen in your stake, Marco, or is that a separate stake?
It's a my stake.
And that's the Hanover. What stake is that?
Hanover.
Hanover. Okay. Were you at stake conference just a bit ago?
Yes.
Is your stake really called Hanover stake? I thought it was in the Hamburg stake.
No, I'm in a Hamburg stake,
Oh,
but Hanover is an own stake. So far, I know.
Okay. And Bremen is in the Hanover stake or in the Hamburg?
yeah. Bremen's
In
in
the
Hanover.
Okay.
They just had state conference, and they go there. Well, it's an hour and a half or so, and that's where all their zone conferences are and things. So he's on the train quite a bit, but to Hanover.
My grandson, Teresa's son,
Mm-hmm.
is in the Baltimore, Maryland mission, but he's Spanish speaking. And right now, he's working in a little place in Pennsylvania that I've never heard of, but it's very close to Gettysburg. So anyway, and apparently have enough Spanish speaking people that they can find plenty to work with. They had a baptism a couple of weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
so they were happy about that.
Bjorn, what were the stake boundaries for your stake in Copenhagen?
It was the island that Copenhagen is on, and some of the surrounding islands. I mean, Denmark's 421 islands or something like that,
Yeah.
except for one piece that is connected to the continent.
Was there any overlap into Germany at all?
No, no. Basically, when you hit water, the stake ended,
And that
except
was
for one island out in the Baltic that was also part of the stake.
what one's that?
Bornholm.
Okay, that's my. I have an ancestor that came from Bernholm. So.
Okay, yeah. Sort of between Poland and Sweden.
Yeah.
We've had another one that joined us, Rudiger.
Yeah, hello.
Did they call you Rudiger or Rudy?
Depends on.
Or babe?
No. So maybe it's 50-50. Hmm. Yeah, I just want to drop in real quick and
Good to see you.
say hello. Yeah.
Merlin was telling us about a mission in Germany that serves Turkish and Farsi speakers.
Yeah, I think they just called a dedicated mission president for the Turkish mission and for that area. Actually, it's the brother of one of our friends who already kind of cared or supervised this area. Now he's a dedicated mission president for that area, but they're operating out of Germany. I think even the new mission president out of Germany or Switzerland.
And you say you know him?
Yeah, no, I know his brother. His brother is in our ward.
Oh, how fun.
He's from Switzerland.
Uh-huh.
He was organizing, I think, the first aid after this big earthquake.
Yeah.
He was supporting that, and that's probably how he slipped into carrying or serving the Turkish
Okay.
members of the Turkish nation. Yeah, they teach online, and then once in a while, missionaries fly over to Turkey from Germany, and then they do the baptisms, perform the baptisms.
That's what you call traveling elders, isn't it?
So
Yeah.
they fly into Turkey for a day to do a baptism. Is that the idea?
I don't know if it's just a day, but they fly in to perform the baptisms. If it's a day or two or so, I don't know, but
So
I
what's
don't think that
going?
they don't have permanent horse riding missionaries.
So what's going on in Turkey? Are there enough people there for a group or no?
I don't know how many members they have. I think they have quite a few members. The problem is as long as they receive money from the fast offering budget, they had a lot of people being interested in the church, a lot of members. When they found out that they spent this money too generous and restricted it, the number of members or number of people interested in the church has dropped significantly.
So you think they came
one part of the extreme growth or quick growth was the financial support, and now it's going a little bit slower. It's a different culture there, and the response, the Turkish, I don't know, branch presidents or so, they had to learn how to handle a fast offering. So in the beginning they spent it very generously, and that's distracted many people.
I see. So you think people were attracted to the church by the welfare system?
Yeah, in the beginning, that's what I was told. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My mother told me that, I mean, my mother's family were members before the war, and she said after the war there were several Speckmormonen
Right.
that became members because of food that was being sent over from the States.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm.
What's
Yeah.
the term,
didn't-
Alan, that we use in the church for mishandling of funds? There's a technical term.
Yeah, well, it depends on your position, but normally they would call it a defalcation. If someone in a stewardship, a position of stewardship, did something inappropriate.
What is it called?
Defalcation.
Spell it.
Basically, that they stole money.
Okay.
Just a fancy word for, that they took money that wasn't theirs.
Mhm.
That can be a barrier to the growth of church programs. I know we reimburse stake seminary teachers for materials and activities in North America, but we haven't expanded that outside of North America, and the primary reason has been concerns about defalcation.
Defalcation. Actually, when my mother taught seminary decades ago, she received a little, not a salary, it was,
Stipend.
yeah, Aufwandsentschädigung. But they stopped that long time ago.
Alan is smiling.
Yeah, tell us what you're thinking.
No. It's just, it's great to hear from Rudiger Schleen. I mean, it's been a long time. And I still think of Rudiger in Ludwigsburg. And I assume you still live there?
Actually, yes, I do live in Ludwigsburg.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
in Ludwigsburg, but nearby, and
Yeah.
in the Ludwigsburg ward. It's still the same building.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
40, 50 years ago.
Yeah.
It got some additions. It looks like a church, like a chapel now, but still this former like private business and living condominium or villa. It was called like a modern villa. Uh-huh. Yeah, I remember the
Yeah, we served as
times in
missionaries there, I
Ludwigsburg.
think, for 1 month together, as I recall.
Right.
And he was
Yeah.
called into the office as one of the secretaries, something like that.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
right.
A couple of months ago, I was considering surprising you in church. I was in Germany, and London airport was closed because of a fire, and I couldn't get home.
Yeah.
And I took a train from Frankfurt down to Stuttgart.
Oh,
And it wasn't certain I'd be able to get back home on the Saturday either. So I thought I might be here on a Sunday, and if I am, I would come up to Ludwigsburg. But I got out.
yeah. You all know Matthias Lange, right?
Mhm.
Matthias Lange. His daughter married a boy here in our ward, so he comes by once in a while. So I'm
Matthias, where does he live?
Nuremberg.
Nuremberg. Oh, okay. But he
Mm.
was he always been from there?
No, he comes originally from the Hanover area, like myself,
Okay.
in northern Germany, but I think pretty soon after his mission, he moved into this Nuremberg area.
And his wife is from the UK, Melissa.
Right. Hmm.
And Nuremberg is no longer part of the mission that we were in. It's the part
Oh,
of the Frankfurt mission.
Neither is Stuttgart, if I recall, right?
the missionary boundaries change every few years. Recently they did a big change again. Now Stuttgart belongs to the Frankfurt mission. I don't know if they ever belonged to the Frankfurt mission, but now they belong to
What
the
mission does
Frankfurt mission.
Nuremberg belong to?
Probably to the Munich
Dresden.
or Alpine mission still.
Oh,
I
the
suppose,
Alpha,
but,
yeah.
but I'm not sure because they changed the boundaries so many times, and the recent change I lost track which stake belongs to which mission.
For a while, it belonged to the Frankfurt mission. I think when President Schwarz became the mission president, I think his home was in his mission.
You get over there fairly regularly, don't you, Alan?
Yeah, I do. I think it was twice last year, 3 times the year before that. This year, probably only once.
In Germany?
Yeah.
In which areas?
Normally I go to the area office. That's where I was last year. And so I'll spend time in Frankfurt working with the team there. It's generally what I'll do.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Stop by when you
Okay.
when you have time.
Yeah. I would love to do that, do the drop by on a Sunday and just surprise you.
Yeah. And we can visit the places in Ludwigsburg, which we tracked with
Yeah.
I don't know, the big apartment buildings. Do you remember those? Like the 21-story building? And
I have visions of Ludwigsburg that I can see in my mind still, like the apartment we stayed in and all of that. But and I remember I remember riding bikes to church and all that. But a 21-story apartment building I don't remember. But maybe I
But
would if I were to go back.
I see it every day when I drive to work.
Yeah.
But you remember the mission place in the basement in Ludwigsburg?
You mean the apartment, missionary apartment in the
Yeah.
basement?
Oh,
No.
Mhm.
We
yeah,
were
it
not in
was
the
ground floor, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it was Mark Gröninger Straße 1.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
why
Yeah,
I
it was right there in the
remember this
corner.
address.
Yeah.
Sometimes you remember things which have no really importance, and you're wondering why you remember this.
No, those are the things that I usually remember if they are of no importance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was it Weber Familia that owned that? They lived up above it,
Right.
if I recall.
Half of our ward consists of Weber family.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
none of them moved away. So the son of the Webers which we lived with, it's like the grandfather of the Weber clan.
Oh.
They have 4 children, and they all stayed in the area, and they have many children by now already. So half of the board is Weber clan.
Sounds like a beautiful thing.
So the old sister Weber is teaching Sunday school. Youth 12 to 14 years old is just their grandchildren, which she's teaching.
How many grandchildren do you have, Bree?
0.
0?
Yep.
What about you, Ellen? How many do you have?
We have 3.
3. And Marco, do you have grandchildren?
3.
3. And
Mhm.
Bjorn? I think Bjorn's left us.
Yeah,
Merlin, do
I
you
think
have grandchildren?
I think Bjorn has 2. So it
Merlin,
might be a sensitive spot for him. He might be upset, and that's why he's not saying anything.
I have one granddaughter who will be a year next week. So, and I'm happy for her.
okay. Casey, do you have grandchildren?
Yes.
5.
Yep.
Okay. And
And
Eric?
9, 16
9.
to 2.
Wow.
Well, I have to tell you that we're expecting 3 babies this year, and when the last one is born, I will have 51 great grandchildren.
Wow.
51 great.
that's beautiful.
Congratulations.
That's just unthinkable almost.
How many grandkids do you have?
20.
So 20 and then 51. Well, that's cool.
And 2 of them are not married. One of them's on a mission, and the other one, I don't know if he's ever going to get married, but
Well, there's always hope.
yeah, there's always never say never.
Yeah, like we are hoping for grandchildren
Yeah.
soon. We have 3 daughters which are married, so there's potential, but
It seems
not
to
yet.
be kind of the way things are going, that young marrieds are not having as many children as they used to. There are exceptions, of course, but
I think there's still a difference between Germany, Western Europe, and Utah area and other parts of the world, I would say.
Yeah, except we're looking more like the Europe area now. There's not, like I said, they're just not having as many as they used to.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, at least we have one daughter. She loves children. She would like to have a child yet, but they lived in the Philippines. They're coming back now, so it didn't work out yet. But maybe next year.
Well, being a grandparent is a lot more fun than being a parent. So I hope you
Yeah,
all
my wife, she can't wait for it.
I hope you all have the chance to be that.
So in Germany, we are just struggling with a heat wave. It's so hot in Germany and dry. It hasn't rained for many weeks now, at least in southern Germany. That's in the news right now in Germany. It's up to 40, almost 40 degrees Celsius. I don't know how much Fahrenheit that is, but it's pretty hot.
What's that in Fahrenheit, you know?
It's close.
No.
95 or
Let me see.
oh, 104.
Oh, wow.
104.
That is hot.
Yes.
Yeah.
And do you have a lot of humidity? I don't think so, do you?
Not right now. Like I said, it hasn't rained for a long time. So things like the trees are starting to die from the
Wow.
drought.
Well, Merlin can understand 104, can't you?
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
that's a nice day.
Yeah,
for-
104 is cool.
Really?
But,
Where do you live? Where do you live?
Mesquite, Nevada, down by Vegas,
Okay.
but no humidity. So
Uh-huh.
I have a granddaughter-in-law from Phoenix. And when she comes to Salt Lake, she says, I get cold up here.
yeah.
She loves Phoenix, loves the heat.
Oh yeah.
But as you know, air condition is not very common in Germany.
Yes.
It's not.
So what we do, we have the windows open all night. Then we shut down everything in the morning and hope that it stays cool. but right now I'm sweating by just sitting here.
That's what we used to do when I was a kid. We didn't have air conditioning or no such thing.
Yeah.
So we did just what you say, open the windows at night and close them in the morning.
It was hot when we were there for the reunion in 22.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think it got up to 35 or 36.
Could be. Yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go.
So, Rudiger, 10 days ago, we were in the Yellowstone area. We were in Island Park,
Mm-hmm.
and it snowed on us.
Okay.
So, to contrast that with what you're experiencing, it was a heavy, heavy snowstorm. Now, it
Really?
didn't stay on the ground because, the ground was pretty warm. But on the way to church that day, it was on a Sunday, my son-in-law was with us, and he played Christmas songs the whole way to church.
Wow.
Oh, that's
So
funny.
that's not normal, isn't it? So it was an exception.
It's at 6,500 feet. It's fairly far north. So there's a lot
Okay.
of elevation there. It can get cold there. It was unusual. There was a cold snap in Utah that weekend as well. I think it had been in the hundreds like a week before, and then the high
Wow.
was about 62, 63, whatever it was
Yeah.
that day.
Really?
And
Okay.
and so it was just a little bit of a cold snap that came through, and it resulted in snow in the park. So
Oh, I wouldn't mind at least a little cooler temperatures.
it actually felt wonderful.
Yeah.
Hmm. Did you see a lot of animals up there when it was that cold?
Not like you would think. The one thing that we do, so I've actually been up there twice in the last month, up to Yellowstone. We took our priest quorum up, and then we went up as a family with our daughter, son-in-law, and one of our grandchildren. And what you really see are buffalo.
Yes.
A lot of buffalo up there.
Bison.
We did see, we did see a couple of bear. We saw some moose, we saw some elk, but not in the quantities we'd really like to see them in. But
Yeah.
it was fun. It's a beautiful place.
That's where we used to go for family vacations a lot when I was a child. And I remember one night my aunt, and they had cabins, just kind of rustic cabins that you could stay in. And I remember one night my aunt woke me up and she said, "Come with me to the window." And we looked out the window and there was a mother grizzly bear with her two cubs raiding the garbage can.
Oh.
And that was the only time I ever got that close to a grizzly, but we used to see bear all the time.
Yeah.
But that's changed.
Yeah, they're there. So by the Grand Prismatic Spring, there is a hiking trail called the Fairy Falls Hiking Trail. And it's only a couple of miles in, and we were on that trail when we got stopped by a ranger who said, "You have to stop here. There's bear activity up ahead."
Oh.
So we got turned around for that. And then it was interesting. As we were walking back, there was a couple that I just stopped and I told them that, "Hey, are you headed to Fairy Falls?" They said, "Yes." I said, "Hey, this is what the ranger just told us." And so then I turned around to catch my family. Then I heard them speaking behind me, and it was in German. And the one was from Stuttgart, and the other was from Heidelberg. And he works for Apple Corporation, has for about the last 5 years in Silicon Valley. It was nice to chat with him.
Oh, yeah. Another place that you always see German people is in Zion's Park in southern Utah. Every time I've been there.
That's where they went on their honeymoon. We talked about that as well. Yeah, they'd been to Zion National Park.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, there's Rick Farmer.
Oh, hello, Rick.
Better late than never, as they say. Alan, how was your German? Your pronunciation sounded great on those two cities.
Well, yeah, we'll keep it at that. You know, we've got Marco and Rudiger here. I mean, you know, I don't want to shame myself.
Yeah, I resemble that remark.
That's interesting that you noted that. I also noted the pronunciation was pretty good, but yeah. Hmm.
Were you out selling a house, Rick?
Actually, just got an offer submitted. So yes, I mean,
Yes.
kind of. Yeah, they looked at it. They looked at it Monday, and yeah, just submitted an offer. So fingers crossed, baby.
Rick was able to make it to Siegfried's for our in-person meetup last
did.
month. That was awesome. He
Yeah.
and Lori were able to come.
Yep, that worked out perfect. We were headed back. My son got married down in Albuquerque, and we were headed back, and we cut the trip in half, and so we were able to catch the lunch. It was fun.
I've forgotten where you're living, Rick.
We live in McCall, Idaho.
McCall, that's right.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Our next meetup at Siegfried's, for those that could come, is the Friday the 11th. We're alternating Tuesdays and Fridays because Sister Lake can't come on Tuesdays, but some people can't come on Fridays. So Friday the 11th at Siegfried's at 11:30.
And celebrating Stan's retirement, right?
Yeah.
And then there'll be a lunch in the near future celebrating yours.
Yep.
Exciting.
Who's retiring?
I have quite a bit of time left. I've got 29 days.
A long time.
Whose retirement were you celebrating?
Stan Vander Tulen.
Oh, he retired.
Yep.
Okay, I just can't imagine that you are all old enough to do that.
Dave Roylance is also retiring. He actually made the trek to Albuquerque, so we saw them there. And I think in January is when he kind of begins his retirement and strings it out till April. So he'll be retired fully in about a year, less than a year.
Well, just remember, my husband said retirement is a myth. So don't think you're going to have time be sitting around eating bonbons and chatting on WhatsApp.
You know, Eric and I saw each other a couple of weeks ago, and we talked about that. He's got like 20 projects in mind, so he will be busy.
True.
Yeah.
I grabbed a picture of Stan from PricewaterhouseCoopers. I put it in the chat. He doesn't wear a tie and suit anymore. He didn't actually wear that very often while he was at work either. But.
Well, our oldest son retired a year ago, and now he's a mission leader in Layton, Utah. And he and his wife are up to their eyeballs in work. They have about 250 service missionaries and about 150 teaching missionaries. And it is just unreal. Luckily, they have a couple who oversee the service missionaries, and they have 18 couples working with them who work with the service missionaries.
Wow.
And
Is
then
that the Ogden, Utah mission, or is there a separate mission?
it's Layton.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so Sister Lake, that's our mission. And I think that Pat Fiegelson, one of our former bishops in our stake, is one of his counselors, if I'm not mistaken.
That name sounds familiar to me.
Yeah, great man.
Yes. That name sounds familiar.
Earlier I put something in the chat, which is from the church's website on the history of the Turkish mission. For those that attended the MTC in Provo, do you remember the name of our branch? The MTC branch that the German-speaking missionaries, it was the Wilford Booth branch. Well, Wilford Booth was a missionary in the Ottoman Empire in what became the Turkish mission. Anyway, interesting connection.
Okay, that is.
Eric, all I remember was that I was in the, that our district was Ludwigsburg.
Oh,
There
nice.
we go.
That's a
Just
good
for
way.
you.
That's a good way to start.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, our district was Wolfsburg. So Elder Raditz and I, we were the only two from Unit Mission, and the other 8 were from the Hamburg Mission. So we got a Hamburg Mission name.
One of my MTC district fellow members, who wasn't my companion was Buddy Wagner, but he and I and Steve Yates were going to Munich. The rest were going to Switzerland, and one of those going to Switzerland was Tom Otto. Tom's been a church employee his whole career in materials management. Anyway, we had lunch at Siegfried's last Friday and reminisced about our MTC. I was there for 7. He was there for 8 weeks. So.
So Siegfried's a German restaurant, or what is it?
Yes. Yeah. It's
Still think of it
Siegfried is Stan's uncle, Stan Vandertulen's uncle.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Kathy Winkleman's father.
Oh,
Hmm.
okay.
Do
I still
any of
think
you
it's a bit
remember Kathy?
unfair
Or did
that-
she leave? Yeah, you would, Bjorn.
Yes.
So, okay, I was just going to say, I still think it's a bit unfair that some of us were just sent straight into the mission field.
Hmm.
I'm not sure you would think that was worse than what we did, but
Who's Kathy Winkleman? Or
she was a missionary in our mission as well.
oh, okay.
So Winkleman, I don't think is her name anymore. But.
Yeah.
So, well, I'm going to have to leave you. I have a doctor appointment. I'm going to get a trigger finger fixed. Have you ever had a trigger finger?
No.
So you're going to be able to shoot more accurately? Is that what you're saying?
Well, something like that. Anyway, it's a very simple procedure. So,
Well, good talking to you. Love you, Sister Lake.
anyway, I just love all of you, and it's wonderful to hear you and catch up on a little bit of what you're doing. And I wish you well. Have a good month.
Thanks.
See
Thank
ya.
you.
I'll
Thanks.
see you in August, I hope.
Okay.
Tschüss.
I will also say goodbye.
Yeah, I'm going
Cheers.
to.
Yeah,
Cheers.
I've got to go.
Auf
as well.
Wiedersehen. Alles Gute.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Cheers.
Tschüss.
Hey, Bjorn, do you have a minute?
I do.
Okay. I was just curious how things are going.
Good question. Yeah, how's it going? There's some, I mean, CrowdStrike decided to make 5% of the worldwide workforce redundant. In the UK, there's some legislation which means that they have to, if it's more than a certain number of people in the UK, then they have to go through a consultancy process with those at risk, as they call it. I mean, I'm pretty sure that they had decided before the process even started who it was going to be, but nevertheless, they had to go through this process. So for a whole month, we just waited until that part